No parent ever wants to hear that their child has been diagnosed with a rare disease, but that is exactly what happened to our next guest, and he is very eager to share his story to possibly help others this morning. Eric Diamario's daughter has TSC. Joining him is also Kari Rosbeck, who is the president and CEO of the TSA Alliance. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Carly.
All right, Eric, so I'm going to go start with you. You're the father, as I mentioned, and caregiver of a child with TSC. So tell us a little bit about your story and why you wanted to share it with others this morning.
Sure, absolutely. I guess I'll start off with a slight joke of caregiver is more my wife, but I'm here to basically tell my story about my daughter, who her name is Charlotte, and she's turning 5 years old in about a month. And she's a happy little girl who happens to have a pretty terrible disease called tuberous sclerosis. She was diagnosed with this disease at 9 months after about 5 months of experiencing seizures and a pretty bad type of seizure called infantile spasms. And basically went undiagnosed because no one knew what it was. Her tells were basically a little blink in her eye or a droop of her mouth or an arm twitch, and nothing to the extreme where anyone looked at it and said, oh my God, something's wrong with that kid, but enough where, you know, as a parent you're like, huh, what's going on? So we basically brought it to the attention of our pediatrician, who didn't know what it was, thought it was acid reflux, and we treated that for 5 months until the point where, you know, my iPhone became my main tool in trying to capture these little events on video. And I showed it to my pediatrician and said, you know, I'm not a doctor, but something's not right here. And he looked at it and said, you know, I kind of agree. Let's see what happens when we send you to Children's Hospital. And basically, at that point, we got in front of a neurologist who immediately knew what was going on, which kind of frustrating that some people did and some didn't. But he said, I think I know what this is. I'm not going to alarm you, because it might not be. We did an MRI, and that revealed that she had tumors in her brain and in her eyes. And basically we were informed that, in fact, she was having seizures, and she has this genetic disease called tuberous sclerosis, and we'll talk to you next Monday. And it was terrible. It's really, really terrible. You know, no one expects that stuff. And when it happens, it just kind of hits you, because the thing about this disease, and I'll let Kari get into the medical part of it, but really it's a genetic disease, which I think people think of like, oh, it's hereditary. Well, it's hereditary 1/3 of the time. The other 2/3, it's something called a spontaneous mutation, where basically your DNA doesn't quite do the right thing on this one little tiny chromosome, and that's what happened to us. So, you know, we were thrown into this disease, tuberous sclerosis, which it took me 2 weeks to even learn how to say it.
Wow.
And no one knew what it was.
Well, and Kari, you know, what do you want parents to know this morning that may possibly be in Eric's shoes, or maybe they know somebody? I cannot imagine, as a parent myself, having to deal with that and not getting answers right away. So I guess number one is just getting awareness about what this is out there.
Absolutely. So I can start with that. Tuberous sclerosis complex, or TSC, is a rare genetic disorder, as Eric said. It causes tumors to grow throughout the body. So the brain, heart, kidney, liver, lungs, skin. It's the leading genetic cause of epilepsy and autism. It affects 1 in 6,000 live births, 50,000 Americans, and 1 million people worldwide. And as Eric said, 2/3 of the cases, we don't know why it happens. So really, we want to raise awareness, because this disease could impact any family at any time. And it's really, really important that TSC is diagnosed as early as possible, that individuals and families get to the right medical care, and that treatment, appropriate treatment, especially in cases like what Eric experienced, is started immediately.
Now, is it curable or treatable?
So there is no cure. There is an FDA-approved drug that helps shrink tumors in the brain and kidneys. So we're on the right path. It treats the underlying disease, but it is not a cure.
Eric, how's your daughter doing today?
She still has epilepsy, because it doesn't go away, but thankfully she has a bevy of treatments and therapies that have helped her. helped her along the way. So she's about to turn 5. She's in public preschool with other typical kids. She's definitely has some special education needs, and you know, she has developmental delays and still has the occasional seizure, but I feel really lucky for where she is, because it's a spectrum disease where it could be nothing or it could be really awful, including death and, you know, bad things. And she is probably on the good side, where she can walk and she can talk and she can play, and she's funny and fun and likes to dance with her brother, and she's good.
Good, good. Well, Eric, God bless your family. And as we close here, what do you want people to know? Is there a website where they can get more information and how they can get involved?
So we're starting a social media campaign in partnership with Novartis, and individuals can go to thunderclap.it/TSC. Again, thunderclap.it/TSC. You're going on, you're signing up, you're basically donating your social media site for one time, one day, where a message will be sent out all around the world to help raise awareness of tuberous sclerosis complex.
All right. Well, Kari, thank you so much. Eric, again, we wish your family all the best in this journey ahead of you.
Thanks very much, Carly.
Thank you.
All right. We, of course, will put more info on our website as well, which is fox4morningblend.com.
Problem with chronic pain? Well, up next, the pros of prolotherapy and how it could be the solution to your pain problem.